What's cracking, everybody? Mighty Smart Guy Matt Sapala here, hailing to you from the PHP Podcast Studio in Dallas, Texas, more specifically Addison, Texas, here. And I'm fired up about this episode. We have here my fellow co-host, fellow first-generation cash flow millionaire and immigrant from El Salvador, and now a first-generation cash flow millionaire upon the PHP Agency platform, hailing to you from Houston, Texas. Rodolfo, I'm fired up about this episode. Who do we have on this podcast as a guest?
Matt, I am excited today because we have a world-class guest today, and thank you for the introduction from you, by the way, which you are a multi cash flow millionaire as well. But thank you. But today, Matt, we have a world-class guest today, all the way from California, graduated from USC, professional. By the way, we spent some time this weekend over here in Houston. We have the one and only Diana Joe on the line.
We have some Asian influence on this podcast today. We're going to be talking about the Life Insurance Awareness Month here that we have currently in this month. We're going to be talking about Diana Joe's story. We're going to be talking about what's going on. Are people buying more life insurance during COVID-19, during the pandemic? We'll find out. We'll go over some stats. There's some very interesting stats about the heightened awareness of the need for life insurance. We'll get all this started here with our guest, Diana Joe, in this episode of PHP Podcast, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Rodolfo, PHP Podcast episode 22, Deuce. And do you know why 22 is very important?
Well, there are different reasons. There are many reasons for it. Yeah.
So why don't we bring on our guest today from Pasadena, California, and she's going to tell us the significance of why 22 is so important to her. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast 22, Diana Joe. DJ, what's going on?
Hey there, great to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I am surrounded by Texans today. I'm the lonely Californian here. This feels more and more like that every day, it seems. But 22 is pretty significant for me. That was my jersey number in soccer. And I went from when I was a little kid, they picked the jerseys, they put the numbers based on the size, and I was always the puniest one on the team. So I started as number 2. And then when I went to high school and beyond, I doubled that up and said 22. So that's a pretty significant podcast number 22 for me. Just thought I'd share.
It's not like we planned it. I mean, Rodolfo, did you know that? I didn't know that at all. So it's just like.
22 is a very special number because it's almost like close to Michael Jordan, the 23, But Diana, welcome to the podcast. Many people, you're one of the favorite speakers for a lot of people in the company. When you speak, a lot of people tell me, man, I love Diana Joe when she spoke on a stage. But tell us about who you are. How do you grow up? I know that you have a mix over there, Asian mix over there, similar like Zapala is Asian. So today I'm a minority here. But tell us about your upbringing. Tell us about your background. Tell us a little bit about you so everybody can get to know you.
Sure. Thank you so much. So I grew up in Southern California. I'm half Chinese and half Caucasian. My dad's Chinese. My mom is white. And so I think early on, I don't know when hybrid came around, but I remember going home and telling my mom, this was when I was a kid, and I said, my friend told me that, because I'm mixed, that I'm a mutt. I remember she said that. And my mom, you should have seen her. It was like, oh my daughter, she said, you tell her, and she's such a weird example, but she said, you tell her that when it comes to breeding animals, that mixed breeds are the strongest breeds or something like that. And I'm like, okay, Mom. But I think she was just encouraging me to be confident in who I am early on. And then maybe when hybrid cars came out or something, it's like, Diana, you're a hybrid. So I grew up where everybody looked different around me. That was the norm. If everybody looked the same, something was wrong. Melting pot in my household, melting pot in Southern California where we live, and was the first to go to college, graduate college in my family. I went to USC, University of Southern California, and I started pre-med of all things. And not even one semester realized I don't even like science. What am I doing? But I thought, that seems like a credible career path that I should pursue if I'm going to college and spending all this money on tuition. And I think that was my first heart to heart where I realized, maybe I should do something that I actually love. And so I still remember that phone call to my parents and saying, I switched majors. And they're like, okay, you're gonna be a lawyer. What are you gonna do? And I said, I'm pursuing fine art. And it was just quiet on the other line. So I don't know if my dad muted me and it was, expletives on the other end, or if he was trying to figure out what that even meant. But I ended up getting a degree in art. And then I got a job working at an art museum after that, working in nonprofit. Was fired up about that. I think I was really just looking for purpose in my life and saying, okay, I'm connecting the dots of working hard to live that ideal life that I thought I wanted, and got really discouraged. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that of, hey, here I am. I worked hard to get where I am, but this isn't really where I want to be. So I was really open, and I was invited to a presentation and talking about money, which was something I was clueless about. I was trying to pay off $90,000 of student loan debt. And even though people would say, you're successful, look at you with this good job, this good degree, salary, I felt like I was sinking. And I was either commuting to and from work, or I was at work working long hours, paycheck to paycheck. And I just, thought, is this it? Is this going to be the next 30, 40 years of my life? So when I saw that presentation, gosh, it was really eye-opening. It was common sense stuff, but it just was, for me, realizing not common practice. And I think there was an insecurity on my end that I didn't really know how to make money grow or to save it. I had learned how to make it. I had learned how to spend it, but that was kind of it. So I decided, hey, I'm going to take this leap of faith. I'm going to try something new. And it was so purpose driven for me, even from the beginning, of realizing, why doesn't everybody know this stuff? As I'm learning and getting educated about finances, it just increased my level of belief of having more control of what I'm able to do in my life. And so what I love about this industry is pretty much what's my job, what's my purpose now. And it's sharing that information with other people, empowering them to be confident, whether it's running a business or with their personal finances. Because I think at least for me, and grew up very middle income, we didn't really have a lot. I saw parents that worked hard, and I know for the two of you, your background, same thing, had people that worked hard in your family, but I would hear arguments about money all the time. I would hear those things of, Diana, we can't afford that. Diana, money doesn't grow on trees. And I thought, money must be really hard to come by. And it's because I just didn't know this language. So, you flash forward to today, and it's been an incredible ride. And I feel like I'm still just getting started. I feel like I'm the new kid on the block, but built this business, single, married, met my husband in the business, Kelroy Kohatsu, shout out to you. Hawaiian. And what was that, Rodolfo?
Hawaiian. That's what.
Yeah.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about your Instagram page.
Nice.
Let me do it. Control plus. I got this now. Control plus. Yes. Control plus. Yes. Zoom up. There we go. Zoom it up. There's DJ. So if you haven't followed Diana Joe yet, make sure you follow her on Instagram at diana.joe.
Go down a little bit so we can see some pictures.
Oh, we're going to see this all right for sure. Diana, who's this?
Those are my in-laws, Rolinda and Eldon Kohatsu. They had just become a marketing director, a broker with the company. And there's that cutie pie on the right-hand side. That's Kelroy Kohatsu. He's going to kill me for just saying that, but that's us on stage.
We love Kelroy, by the way. We love cutie pie Kelroy.
But their parents look young, though, man. I mean, I would think that's Kelroy's older brother.
Hawaii is good to them. They are young.
How do you build a business in paradise? Remember, was it 2012? Was it 2012 that the Aztec calendar that would stop? Was that the year?
Yes.
2012. Yeah. So I was booked for a speaking engagement in Maui. And that day, the ad was in the USA Today newspaper that this guy had said, "The world is going to end today, and you better be careful. Today's the day that the Aztec calendar's done, and I'm on a plane to Maui, right? And so I'm like, okay, the world's going to end. All right, what's going to look like if the world's going to end? And so, make a long story short, I end up in Maui, and I said to myself, well, I guess the guy's right, because the world did end because I ended up in paradise. It's beautiful out there in Maui, but they are building where in Oahu.
Yes.
Nice.
So your
We've got-
organization is also in Hawaii. Yes.
We've got some folks that are in Maui, some different islands there as well. But it's not a bad gig,
Yeah.
needing to travel there.
So how do people dress for BOMs? How do people dress for our corporate overviews and training nights in Maui? I'm just kidding, because over here in Texas, it's or here in California and in this mainland, it's when it comes to our meetings, looking business professional. How are people dressed in Hawaii?
If you're in a shirt and tie, we're skeptical, right? In
Overdressed.
Hawaii. Yeah. So you're in an aloha shirt. Maybe it's tucked in, maybe it's not. Right.
Rodolfo, you can wear the grass skirt.
There you go. I can do that.
Men show up in grass skirts and fire torches.
I can do that. I will wear it with you. By the way, you could be Hawaiian. You look a little bit Hawaiian too.
I get that all the time, man. I get that all the time. I throw people out being taller than your typical Filipino.
You're the
I
tallest.
have a question for Diana, and maybe I want to go first with you, Matt, and then I come back to Diana, because Diana said about she was going to pre-med and her parents wanted her maybe to be a doctor or to go to get a career
Asian way,
like that, right?
the Asian way.
Yes, like I have over here in the office some people from I have two brothers from China, and I met with their parents. His name is Patrick and Perry, and and both of them, their parents, their dream was to go to become doctors. So how about you, Matt? What would your parents want you to be when you grow up?
Well, my mother, of course, I'm Filipino, so that means automatically by default that means my mother is a nurse. Stereotypes are funny because sometimes they're true. So my mother happened to be a nurse. She went to Mary Johnson College Nursing in Manila, came out and came out here to Philadelphia, and then eventually ended up in Chicago. But she wanted me to have some form of medical profession, X-ray tech. But there's nothing about me that liked math and science. Those were my worst subject matters in school. I had zero patience for math. I had definitely zero patience for biology. And I remember.
Did they tell you ever?
How's that?
Did they ever tell you, hey, one day I want you to be like this?
Five things. Doctor, dentist, attorney, accountant, or engineer. Those are 5 things a Filipino boy is supposed to do. Doctor,
You're
dentist.
not gonna believe this.
What's that?
Did you know that my mom is also a nurse?
Bro, this is like, that's why I know you're half Filipino. Salvadorian Filipino.
My mom is a nurse and my dad is an engineer. And their dream was for me to go to medical.
Wow.
To become a doctor.
What type of doctor?
We have
like eye doctor or like a foot doctor?
I have no idea. I have no idea, but I have issues with blood. I cannot see blood. I cannot see blood. So, but my mom's dream was for me to become a doctor, to be a doctor, to be in the medical field. Can you believe that? Dr. Vargas, Dr. Zapala. By the way, Diana looks like a great doctor. Diana could be a great doctor.
Yeah, if Diana were to walk in my medical department, I feel very confident. I'm like, yo, she's got the presence.
Thank you. But I was the same way, Matt. Math and science were my most difficult subjects, or they were painful to do well in them.
So you were the typical Asian stereotype of being good at math.
No, I mean, I was good at math, I guess, right? But I had to work really hard to do it. It didn't come easily to me at all.
So
we probably sit next to each other, Diana and Joe. If we were in school together, we probably were the worst people to sit next to each other.
Yes.
So Diana, before we go into your success story in the business, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you told your dad, you told your parents that you wanted to study fine art instead of becoming a doctor, and you got into debt, $90,000. You go to school, you graduated USC. Like if you know USC, man, that was a dream, by the way, to go to USC. So you graduated USC, and then all of a sudden you tell your parents, I wanted to get involved in the life insurance business. I want to know the reaction. What did they say?
I think maybe I was prepping my parents throughout my life, just freaking them out along the way that, after a while, it's like, again, Diana, the shock all the time. Because I think it was such a shock when I switched to fine art. And I appreciate that my parents, I know that there was probably anxiety on the inside, but they were really good about kind of holding it in, taking that deep breath and saying, just do well at that, but please just, so I think because I knew I was always kind of rebellious of what I was supposed to do, quote unquote, that there was like a chip on my shoulder of like, you better do this well. Like you better commit and do this well.
These are what does it cost to go to USC these days?
Shoot, I don't even know today, maybe 70,000, 80,000 a year.
A year?
Yeah.
A year?
Mm-hmm. It was 32,000 back when I went there. And that was crazy back then. So yeah, you could buy a nice car, right? Or you could go to USC for a year. And that's I apparently chose to go to school.
That's a great analogy. It's a great analogy. You can get you can get a Ferrari, you can get a home. Okay, I have a question. I have a question for you. Okay, so but what do they say now? Like that's because you have a success story. It's not like you don't make $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year doing insurance. You make over $700,000 a year. You make more than some doctors out there. Okay, you make more than a fine arts director out there. So what do they say now? What is when you tell them, listen, but I was right, this thing works. What do they say to you? Do they know, by the way? Do they know?
They have an idea. They know. I think they know. But for so many years, it was, Diana, you work so hard. You burn the candle at both ends. Forgetting that I did that even when I was in high school playing sports. So it wasn't like this was something new. It's when you're pursuing something that's exciting and you're seeking improvement, you're gonna give 100%. If you were an Olympic athlete or something like that, it's not weird if they say, hey, I can't hang out on Friday night because I got to practice, I've got to condition, because they're serious. They're trying to be top of their game. So that, however, doesn't always translate in business or in work. It's sort of, at least in my family, it was, work hard, make money to pay your bills, but, also live a comfortable life. So, be home at 5 o'clock, have the weekends off and go to the barbecues and all that. So for early on in building a business, as you both know, you got to just dive in. And it's not a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. You're aspiring to be something better. And so for a long time, there was a lot of conflict, a lot of arguments, a lot of, Diana, we know better. And I think that stemmed from them just being scared or nervous on my behalf, that maybe I didn't know where I was going. But I think it's really switched now. And I still remember, this was ages ago, it feels like, but I'm having a meal with my parents, and I had come back from an event or something, and my mom asked, so how are you doing in the business? And I said, well, I'm kind of frustrated with XYZ, feeling behind in this area. And she's like, well, what are you doing here having lunch with us? Like, you need to get to work. And I remember how fired up I was of like, yes, because years of her saying the opposite, you need to spend more time with your family, all those things. And I think it changes when they start traveling the world. They see you traveling the world, just living a richer life. And I don't just even mean financially, but in all areas.
You're enriched.
Yes.
I want to go back to your Instagram, because I want you to show that. Here's your success story now, DJ. You're speaking at the MGM Grand Arena. You're getting mic'd up right now. You're about to speak on you're about to speak on the biggest platform in the world of entertainment. What was going through your head right here when you're about to speak in front of close to 10,000 people? After all the stuff you've been through, you're about to speak close to 10,000 people right now.
Is this really happening? I think and you're nervous, like, please don't trip when you walk down that huge slippery stage. I think those are things I was thinking about, but so grateful. And just, I think what's great when you're nervous, which I always am before speaking here is just to say that prayer of gratitude of like, thank you, God, for getting me here. And let this be an opportunity where this can be, your words, like open people's eyes and ears to hear what you want to hear. And just coming from a place of humility, because it is so grand. But that was the biggest stage I had ever walked on. It was amazing.
DJ, where's your cash flow right now? How close are you to your next ring?
Kissing it. We're like at that 50, 60,000. It seems like it changes every day of crossing over that 750 ring. We definitely want to get that done. Grateful again for coaches that say, Diana.
Can I translate, Diana? I'm sorry. I don't like to interrupt, but somebody might be here and then they say it out.
Rodolfo's perfect for translating. He's like an interpreter.
I love translating. Let me translate to the crowd. $750,000 direct deposit to them in the last 12 months. Okay, so go ahead, Diana. I just wanted to translate.
Thank you for the translation. Crazy, because I think about it, when I was working at that art museum, I made 40 grand a year. And, to see that in a week now is life-changing. And
well, let's talk about life change, because it's just not you, being successful by yourself. And then I think there's the biggest reason why a lot of people don't see PHP for what it does, because in order for you to grow, you got to pull people up with you. You got to push people up. And so in this picture, who's in this picture with you?
Well, you've got Andrew and Jennifer Gaines over on that right-hand side. So
they're with us in Dallas. They're with us in Dallas. Yeah.
They were just talking with me about that earlier today, about getting to see you guys yesterday and how great it was, right? Being in person. But President's Council, those two, I mean, gosh, I remember meeting them they were sitting on a futon couch. And Jennifer she's also got an art background. So I was like, oh my gosh, there's two of us who come from art. Andrew's a college pastor. You've got, there they are. Gorgeous couple. We need them to have babies to keep that redhead lineage going. The cutie pie, right? Shoot, I said it twice now. Kelroy Kohatsu. Then you've got Chris and Steph Solis that are next to him. They run an office in Los Angeles, in Montebello, California. Excited for them. They're EMDs. And then you've got Alfredo and Crystal Garcia, and they run an office in Ventura, California. And they've been with me. I remember walking in, meeting Alfredo when he was a car salesman and buying a car from him, and then him getting invited back to the office. And he walks in like he's walking into a club with a entourage. Met his wife in the business, Crystal, softball background. So great group right there. But just what you were saying, Matt, about, for you to have financial success, it's like what I love about our industry is that you've got to take people with you. Other people have to experience financial success. So, the gains over there easily should crack $500,000 this year. And then you've got our next $250,000 would be Chris and Steph Solis. Have already hit $250,000 income is Alfredo and Crystal. So a little background on them.
That's awesome. That's it, man. And that's a benefit. That's a huge benefit, because when I was a producer for 12 years, just selling, like after leaving the military, and I was just an insurance producer at 130, 140% contract for 12 years. It was like, okay, 12 years of me doing this. What's next? Another 13 years of me doing this, 14 years of me doing this. What's next? Buy more leads, do more dinner seminars. And then, for example, I was sitting with a guy last night, and he just pitched me on his products and how he can talk to high net worth individuals. You can do this. You get, obviously advanced strategies. But at the end of the day, you still got to individually sell it. You don't actually really build a business. And so DJ, can you explain a little bit about, you've been around the insurance industry for a minute. What's the biggest difference that you see with people that you run into in the insurance industry versus our culture and our way of going about doing business? And you've seen the difference between us and them and how they're building it in their career with whatever XYZ financial insurance company versus how we're building here at PHP.
I think the average insurance agent or person that's just independent producer in our industry is more of very logical and what's in it for me. It doesn't mean that everybody is that way, but overall, it's sort of, hey, what's the contract? What are the products? It's very logical. And in our business, sure, you've got the logic. I mean, frankly, our compensation plan dwarfs any other that I've ever seen. So there's definitely a money component there, but it is so much more about building people into leaders and finding real purpose. Like the fact that my success could not have happened if it wasn't for those other people that you saw in those pictures that are building a business for themselves as well. So I think a lot of times, and at least this is me, let me know if you guys agree with this, but sure, we got to take care of our bills and do all that security, peace of mind. But I think beyond that, there's more fulfillment in being in a position to give, to serve, than it is even to receive. Most people, at least most of my life, however, I wasn't in a position to give and to serve in that way because I couldn't take care of myself so much. So helping people to get into that position where, and it's not just financial. I almost think like the money that we make is such a byproduct of the leaders that we've become and the crap that we've gone through. You know what I mean? Like it really is. It's an entrepreneur, any entrepreneur, it doesn't even have to be in financial services and insurance, can relate to that. Athletes can relate to that, of, the crap that you go through. There's probably a better way to say that, but I'll just leave it at that, is, managing your emotions, conflict management. Those are things that help you in every area of your life, but I think help us to become better people. They also translate to financial success in our business.
And, the thing, Rodolfo, one of the people made a comment with Rodolfo's, PHP has done such a phenomenal job in building people and building leaders. Like, where would a Rodolfo Vargas and a Ceci Vargas end up had it not been for the platform of PHP? Because, PHP discovered him as a loss prevention specialist, at the security guard at a retail store. So what I'm thinking about too, DJ, is to see your income continue to grow. And when I first came to the company in 2015, by the way, what was your income in 2015, 2016? You were hovering around just a couple $100,000 at that time?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And to see you right now about to kiss 750, what an amazing pay raise.
Amazing. Shoot, just PHP giving equity. I mean, that first dividend check was, I think, $38,000, and then another one that was $93,000. And Kelray and I are looking at each other and saying, this is more than we used to make in a year, in multiple years working at a job. And now this is just extra money that we're getting in our, like, that we technically didn't even have to work for. Tom Ellsworth, he said something that really stuck with me when we were receiving those big checks recognizing us for equity. And he said, this is a reflection of you increasing the value of the company. So not just work, but increasing and I'm like, wow, how special that is, that our company allows us to be in a position to do things like that. Purpose, bigger goals, being a part of something that's bigger than just making the money and paying the bills.
I think all three of us have something in common. I think all three of us have something in common, is that our current spouses at one point while we're at PHP was boyfriend, girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Because hey, see, I started single. And I know, Matt, you're going to show some numbers today, some statistics today. But Diana,
yeah.
I know that somebody might be watching today. Okay. There is a lady watching today. Or a guy too. But there is a lady watching that she wanted to go to school. Maybe that was her dream, to go to school. Maybe she's thinking about just getting a job, having a good career, and maybe have a good life, but not to level of success that you're going. Because right now, making $750,000 a year, eventually you're going to make a couple $1 million, and you're going to keep growing. Your organization keeps growing and growing and growing. We had a good time this last weekend with your organization, but somebody might be watching. She might be thinking, I don't know if this is for me or not. I don't know if I should go in and become an entrepreneur. I don't know if the insurance is for me. What can you tell her? What can you tell her? How can I start? What can you tell that lady watching it today, watching the video today?
I'd rather risk trying than wondering what if. I think for me that for some people, the biggest motivator is what if all my dreams come true? I think I'm more motivated of what if I always regret never taking this opportunity? And so that just happens to be the bigger motivator for me. So I'm sure we've got both people tuning in that relate in different areas. You know, you're either motivated by love, maybe motivated by fear or fear of loss. And so I look at it like even just in that moment when you're making a decision, it feels intense, right? Oh my gosh, you're trying to think about all these things. But after you make the decision, whatever it is, in my case, starting in this industry, there's this great calm. And I believe, that's the Holy Spirit saying like, you made the right move. But I also think it's like, stop thinking about it so much. Like, just go take action. Just go see. Maybe there's a life that you actually want that's better than you ever imagined, but you'll never see that if you don't start taking the baby steps that seem scary when you can only see, 3 feet in front of you. So I'm grateful for a number of intimidating moments of making decisions like that throughout my life, where it doesn't mean that it gets easier. You just get more accustomed to that feeling and say, I got to take action. So for those that are listening, do it. What do you have to lose? Shoot, especially if you're kind of settling. That was me. I definitely was experiencing a level of disappointment in my life of like, is this it? It was, it was okay, but is that it? This is your life. This is your life. I don't know how else to say that. And I think we all want the best one, but I think the best one requires us to step outside of our comfort zone. And you're not going to have the whole story with the end of your life paved for you where you can read it ahead of time. You've got to step out in faith.
Well, I got a question for you, but before you do that, guys, we're at the bottom of the hour right now. If you haven't done so already, if you're watching this on Facebook, make sure you click like and follow our business page, PHP Agency. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you click subscribe and make sure you follow our YouTube channel, PHP Agency. And if you are also watching this right now, I appreciate it. I see a lot of comments here in the chat box. I would see, by the way, Alfredo Garcia is in the chat box. What's up, Alfredo? By the way, Diana, if Alfredo Garcia was in the same office with me, I don't think any work could get done. We'd just be playing pranks on each other all day.
All day.
All day. Make sure you share our YouTube video. Make sure you share this also on Facebook. If you're watching this on Facebook, share this to Twitter or LinkedIn, whatever you guys got. Let the world know, man, that the number one podcast in the insurance industry right here, the PHP Agency podcast. We got Miriam Rivera in the comment section. 100%. She's taking a lot of value from this. Selena Zapeta says, wow, it's amazing hearing how this industry, you take people with you and they also get the opportunity to become financially independent, surrounded with mentors. That's correct. Who else we got? Matthew Torres is on here. Michael Soto from Cornerstone. Fire. Shayna Bladau is here too as well. What's up? Tobin Short here. Helping people and be a servant leader, the money will follow. A lot of great comments. But continue to flow with those comments. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our social media platform. So Dan, I want to ask you this question. I kind of punched at it earlier. The insurance industry is filled with men. Okay, the demographic of the insurance industry is predominantly older Caucasian men. To have an agency like ours filled with multicultural people, number one, that's a feat in itself.
Huge.
And I think that the biggest feat in itself is that the highest income earners in the company are women. We got Ceci Vargas, right? Who they were joking about it earlier. They're running a financial services novella. They argue like novellas, but working together with a spouse. DJ, you're here. You're the one of the top income earners in the company. Why is this industry predisposed to the natural tendencies of women? Why are women more likely to succeed here in this industry?
Well, I think it's really special today because you have so many examples of success. If you can see it, if you see someone that looks like you, there's that I could do it too. So I think today is really special, even compared to maybe when the company first started, where I did feel a little bit like the lonely gal at the table with all the dudes, right? I remember when PHP ladies first started, and Jennifer Bette David said, we want to create a platform to empower women. And there was just a handful of us, maybe it was 8-10 of us together. And we put together our first event. It was the very first PHP Pink Party. And it was something that we just sort of put together last minute, a week or two before. And we had the 300 people that had showed up. It was a big deal to us back then. And just seeing all the women that one wanted to serve, wanted to support great causes, like we were doing with the Pink Party for breast cancer awareness in October, but really just seeing women come together and this special synergy that happens. So yeah, there you go. And today, what are we, 53% of PHP? I might have the percentage off a little bit.
Yeah, more women in PHP than men.
Yeah. And from a financial standpoint, I also think it really translates when you're meeting with clients, families in the field, because again, they're not always seeing the man. Nothing wrong with the men, because even the ladies that you were bringing up, it's like we've got great men at our sides today, but it just really special. I think a lot of women are the CFOs of their household, and it makes sense that you would win in business, that you'd be successful here. You just need a platform that encourages you to do that. We all need encouragement. And so encouragement of seeing other women that are winning, also women that are challenging the excuses that maybe work somewhere else and they just don't work here. I mean, it's like, it is a level playing field, and women are killing it in business, as they should. Men are too, but I think it's so special to see women just standing in their own two shoes, knowing that they bring value to the table that's unique to them. And it has added such a dynamic to our company, and it's just really special. I mean, I loved at our last convention at MGM Grand, and just seeing all the different ethnicities, gender, like all of that stuff. I mean, that diversity is powerful.
That's right. By the way, can I tell you something, Diana, before Matt goes into the next one? And you're winning because you put the effort. You're winning into this, not because you're a woman. You're winning because you're a hard worker. You're putting the effort, and you're an example. You have no idea how many women are watching this and are thinking, you know what? I want to win just like her. I want to win just like her. And you're winning because you work hard, because you put the effort, because you put the hours, and you are maybe making more money than other guys who are not. So, and by the way, in our company, we love it. We love it like that. In our company, it's like it doesn't matter if you're Filipino and you're 6'7" and you're like the model Filipino. It doesn't matter if you're Diana and you're a woman and you come graduated from fine arts and you came from that no background, and if you win, you win. So proud of you. Great job, Diana. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, by the way, DJ, I want to know, what was the jack move with Carol? I want to know what was up with that. I want to know how that started to happen, because it's like,
you're going personal.
What? What's going on?
What can I say, right? Meaning, like, how did we get together in the business?
Because the unique thing about PHP is that we bring people together, and we're also very guarded too. We're also very protective of our business. We're protective of the brand that we're building. We're protective of the people that because you don't want to bring people into your business and it's a casual thing. You end up breaking up, and they say your team sees you, your business sees you, you're a mess. How did that come about with you guys? Because I mean, what a great combination there between you and Carol.
So for those that work with me or that know me well, like, I'm definitely professional, no messing around, like, we're being politically correct here, right? Like, I worked hard to build the business that I had at that point, and dating was not in the periphery. Dating was not anywhere on. I remember people ask me, hey, Diana had success, you're pretty cool. So are you dating anyone? And I remember telling people, look, I'm married to the business. It's like to get people off your back. And I have no desire, nor do I want to invest any time in dating. I really think like if there's going to be this man in my life, he's going to be a good complement. It's not something that I need to be fulfilled. I was feeling so fulfilled in so many aspects of my life and just seeking to constantly improve. By the way, at the same time, he's doing the same thing. But I said, God's just going to have to put someone in my life that I'm a friend, that's a friend of mine for a long time. And then one day I just realized I can't live without him. And honestly, that is Kelroy. And he'll tell you that he has the most insane, smooth follow-up. Like he is relentless about follow-up. And that's the short story. How about that? I don't know if you want me to go more.
I want to know, when did Kelroy realize he had a shot?
Good question. Good question. I think because I feel like there was at one point where I hurt his feelings because I had a sense of something that he was pursuing beyond just like having a conversation with me about the business. And I think I got really upset and I just told him, there is no chance. There is no shot whatsoever. Like I was upset. And he said, you really hurt me then. And yet he followed up. Smart man.
Wow. Power and follow up, man.
He's incredible.
Can I tell you something? Every time I see them together, I love it, by the way. I love it. They're very special chemistry that you guys have and energy that you guys have together. It's pretty crazy. Right. But what's great about this business is you're meeting somebody with because many people are watching this. But by the way, I'm not saying, by the way, let me clarify this. Don't join PHP because of fun, because in PHP there is a lot of good-looking guys and good-looking women. I get it. And I received the message and oh my gosh, can you introduce me to such and such? No. The answer is no for everybody watching it. But anyway, point is this. It's so great that you go to, let's just say in PHP, you join PHP and you meet with somebody with the same goals and dreams like you.
Right.
Wanted to win, wanted to improve, wanted to get better in life. And it's so great that you found somebody in the business and you guys are killing it together. I love it. That's one of the greatest things about our company.
Yeah.
Yep. Together, they're much better. So I want to shift some gears here real quick. I want to talk about what's going on here this month of September being Life Insurance Awareness Month. And DJ, I'd love to have your perspective on this because, the whole entire insurance industry last year retracted. Based on certain surveys, the insurance industry retracted by 20% last year because the majority of the insurance agents in the marketplace did not know how to adjust to COVID, did not know how to adjust to the pandemic, just like a lot of other businesses. But just because it's the industry doesn't mean that was PHP, because PHP, we grew last year by over 40%.
Right.
And so when we're looking at stats like this is from insuranceNewsNet.com magazine, Insurance Newsnet magazine, which I highly suggest everybody should subscribe to. It's a free subscription. And it says here that there was a heightened need for life insurance. Let me see if I can zoom here. Can I zoom? Oop, no, I can't. Okay, so top left here, there's a heightened need for life insurance. 59% who don't own life insurance say they need it. 31% say they are more likely to buy life insurance because of the pandemic. 48% of millennials say they plan to buy coverage in the next year. 42% of Americans could face financial hardship within 6 months if the primary wage earner were to die unexpectedly. And of course, there's a breakdown of the type and style of insurance, of who owns life insurance, who does not own life insurance. And so they own life insurance, 26% is through group, that means like through the job, 52% individual life only, and 22% group only. What are you seeing there in Cornerstone? What are you seeing in your organization? Has there been a heightened sense of people that you're attracting to the business that normally you would not have considered the insurance industry or even the product? What are you seeing on your end?
Absolutely. When you said the word awareness, like there's so much more awareness, and there needs to be so much more even than that, because life insurance, when we say life insurance, most people, when we say life insurance, what do you think about? Oh, a death benefit, money when I pass away. Life insurance is so rich. And I mean with different benefits. Even back when I first started in the industry, I was floored the first week of how much I was learning. Like, I had no idea all the different uses of life insurance. And so I think there's this misconception of it provides a huge need. That death benefit is the number one, right? Like that's helping to create legacies or to restore a family household financially. Like that's huge. But I think there's still a lack of awareness. It's more today, but a lack of awareness of all the things that you can do with life insurance. I mean, it's the foundation of financial planning. Like you don't just use it simply for a death benefit. You use it for estate planning, use it for living benefits. I mean, we've got 2 gals on the team that have contracted cancer. One has breast cancer, one has lung cancer in their 30s. And for them to have one gal, she got her life insurance policy not even a year ago. And she was a $250,000 policy. And she got a check for $150,000 of it that she can use while she's living. And I just think, like, what peace of mind from a life insurance policy. And this isn't something that you're having to necessarily pay extra money for. It's just how life insurance has evolved. So even folks that maybe, oh yeah, I know life insurance, I got one 30 years ago, or I was in the industry 30 years ago, and you're going to be floored at how it's evolved today. It's kind of like if you had a cell phone from 30 years ago. I don't even know if they were around, but shoot, they're really different today. There's so many more benefits today. So I see, and even in the industry, more and more people that are connecting with us saying, I've been researching the life insurance industry and I want to get into this. I want to be an essential worker. I recognize that finances and insurance is an essential in a household. Even that phrase, essential worker. Yep. I don't think I knew about it years ago before the pandemic.
Let's look at this. Looking for life amid COVID-19. Elaine Tomicki, let's see if I can zoom up here. Elaine Tomicki has tracked, let me show you where I'm looking at. Right here. Elaine Tomicki has tracked life insurance sales data for decades and has never been more excited than right now. Her enthusiasm is posted in new post-pandemic realities. To keep it simple, life insurance is a hot property. By the way, Google industry most likely to make you a millionaire. At the top is financial services.
And it says hot property because it's an asset.
Correct.
It's an asset. Life insurance is an asset. Go ahead.
100%, Rodolfo. She says, even personally, I get excited to see the next month's sales. Said to make you vice president for insurance product research for LIMRA. So LIMRA stands for Life Insurance Marketing and Research Association. A lot of the life insurance industries purchase the research from LIMRA to create their own marketing and product design for the products that they put out to the marketplace. The former CEO of LIMRA is a board member of PHP. Just want to let everybody know, the former CEO, Bob Kirshner, is a current board member of PHP. So he says here, sales are up by double digits across many product lines with records being smashed. Life insurance application activity ended up the quarter of 7.3 for the year after citing year-over-year second quarter growth. So all signs are pointing to a heightened mortality awareness brought on by COVID-19 pandemic. So more people are buying life insurance today because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And so which product line? IUL.
Yeah.
IUL is king. So DJ, I know we lots of times people, ask what type of products we sell to PHP. Are a lot of people asking about index universal life insurance? What's some of the products? I know we do a lot of different insurance policies. What has been the mix for Cornerstone?
So a lot of IULs. And I think because it's like the Swiss Army knife that can do so many things. So because you can build cash value in there, and very different from maybe its predecessors, maybe we're earning 1, 2, 3%. Now you're earning 6, 8%, something in there over the long term. You can really build wealth inside of an insurance policy, and it's in our IRS tax guidelines where you get tax benefits from that, where you can grow that income and earn interest but not have to pay taxes on it. There are ways to take that money out and not have to pay taxes on it. So just from like a cash value standpoint, it's super powerful. I say this to women all the time because we tend to live longer than maybe our male counterparts. Of make sure you've got a permanent life insurance policy with living benefits, because maybe you're in your 90s and you want to have great nursing care to stay at home, and it's expensive. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars for folks. So to be able to say, hey, I don't have to clean out my retirement or go into debt or not be able to afford benefits, that I can actually pull out money from my life insurance policy with the living benefit, those things are huge. So it doesn't take away from term insurance for people that say, hey, I got 20 years left on my mortgage and I just want insurance for that period of time. But I think, and I have more folks in their 20s and 30s that are saying, I want to get permanent life insurance like an IUL, because I'm seeing my parents, grandparents needing health care, needing more money for healthcare in their later years and living longer. So that tells me too, awareness is much different today.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing that you mentioned, because, based on the pandemic relief bill from last year, that IRS code that you're talking about is IRS code 7702. But based on the pandemic relief bill last year, they had what they call a minimum interest rate based on how much money you can pack into an insurance contract. Because the jack move there, the wealth building move there for people that understand urban talk, the wealth building move there is to stuff these insurance contracts with a lot of cash.
Yeah.
Well, due to the pandemic relief bill, guess what you can do? You can stuff more money inside these insurance contracts, because a certain interest rate that remained unchanged since 1984 changed. The minimum interest rate that they calculate what you can stuff inside these insurance contracts just changed. So more people can stuff more money inside these policies than before. Now, the downside to that is life insurance agents are making less. The life insurance death benefit can be reduced. But hey, if we're here to benefit the client, to build wealth, as you just mentioned, it's in more favor to the client. Rodolfo, Index Universal Life, what are you seeing there in Houston? Your operation there. By the way, everything fine over there with the hurricane?
We're good. We're good right now. We're good right now, and it's not raining. Just some places don't have power. My home doesn't have power, so there is some crazy stuff over there. But we're good.
Bro,
we're good. The office is good.
You can always come to the house, bro. You can always come to the house.
That's right. That's right. But anyway, now we're in Texas now. You're in Texas as well. But
Quick
what
flight.
is this? Let me tell you what I saw. Let me tell you what I saw in my organization. And this is crazy with COVID, because when you're talking about the product, is different benefits, right? So I give you two stories. Before pandemic, last year, what was it? February, January, when we didn't have pandemic. It started, right? Talking.
Yeah.
We sold about 400 policies, my agents, right? When COVID happened in March, we went from selling 400 policies. Guess what? 1,500.
Woo!
1,500 in a month. And it was because, and there is different reasons, right? One of the reasons was because of the living benefits. Because people started, also the benefit, but the power of the living benefits. That is, you're telling me that I don't have to die to get benefits from the policy?
Yep. So
that reminds me to the second story. Well, the story about, she posted it, Jessica Coulter. She posted it on Instagram. She said, look at this story. So, I'm telling Ceci, story is so powerful.
On Facebook?
Huh? She has it on Instagram. It's a video. So she does a video and she says, when I was 21, 22 years old, I decided to get a policy myself. This type of policies, IUL. She got an IUL. She got a policy with a permanent policy with cash value and living benefits. She's now what, 30 years old? She's young, and she got diagnosed with a mastectomy. Breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And she got to use the living benefits.
Wow.
And she's saying, you know what? I was young. I didn't think I needed, but I got a policy because somebody told me, you never know. She got a policy, but that's not the end of the story. The end of the story is this. Matt, who also got cancer?
Who's that?
Her mom.
Wow.
And her mom didn't have a policy. So the living benefits is not only, she's using it, but guess who's so also getting help? Her mom. Bro, I'm watching this story yesterday. I'm watching this story and I wanted to show it, Ceci. And I'm emotional.
Yeah.
Listening to this. because she says, you know what? I was about to lose my hair, and I was worried about my hair, and her husband, him and I were close, and she says, I was worried about the hair. And I'm also using the living benefits because I didn't want it to lose my hair. And she tells the story. I mean, it's so powerful. So not only her, she get diagnosed with the cancer, but also her mom. And she get benefits because of the insurance policy. Look at this. I've been in the life insurance for 10 years. I paid out death claims to clients, but definitely I never imagined having to use my policy after only a few years of having it. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2021. I had over 10 tumors growing since my last scan, 2019. I was terrified, and so was my family. In March 2021, I had to have both breasts removed with bilateral mastectomy. I am grateful I was able to have immediate reconstruction. The cancer did spread to my lymph nodes, so I'm currently going through chemotherapy. In November, I was complete 30 rounds of radiation. Cancer can completely change the course of someone's life. Treatment doesn't end after radiation. I will put into early menopause at 32. I can no longer have babies. Life is crazy, and we cannot control everything that will happen to us because of life insurance. I can focus on my health and not on money. Life insurance is not a luxury,
Wow.
it's necessary.
I have the chills. And I've known Jessica for years.
Woo!
And she is
we gotta
so
have her on the
positive.
podcast next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We got to have her on the podcast next week for sure. Keep
She's
going.
so positive through the process too. And it doesn't mean that she isn't going through, insecurities and struggles. Like, she talks about it openly. But I think it's such a huge relief. Like, even when she was saying about those living benefits of how she's financially able to support her mom even more through this process, who doesn't have that. Yeah. And I'm so grateful for her being in this business too. I did her orientation when she first got started. And I remember when she was, single girl playing softball, like total badass, like just, she was rough and tough, and she could barely afford to save $20 at that time a month. And just to see how she's grown as a mother, as a spouse, met her husband in this business too. And wow. It just goes to show, like, it started with entrepreneurship, but the products and services equally have been life-changing for her.
Somebody asked me this question yesterday, and by the way, I'm getting the chills too as well. And I was just telling Tegan we need to have Jessica on the podcast. Yes. She definitely needs to share her story because, listen, I've been in the insurance industry now for 22 years. Life insurance policies have not changed my life. My own insurance policies have not changed my life. Does that make sense? Yeah. My life insurance policy has not changed my life, but the life insurance industry has. The platform of insurance has. And I'm now seeing our friend, our colleague, our partner here, Jessica. She's part of our industry. She's an agent. She writes policies. Never in a million years did you think that an agent would have to be a benefactor of their own policy. Yeah. Well, here we are. And because oftentimes people think that you have to die to use life insurance. You don't. You go through a health change, a situation like this. Everything that we talk about is happening to one of our very own. And to see her fight through it, as you mentioned, with grace, with class, with dignity. Mm-hmm. And we're going to live and learn a lot from her. But DJ,
you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy, Matt? I'm sorry for this about the life insurance thing. It's like we're in the life insurance awareness month, right? But the issue that I see with people is to all of us, including myself, is we say stuff that's never going to happen to me. That's never going to happen to me. I'm okay. Never going to happen. I'm young. I'm healthy. I'm this. I'm that. That's never going to happen to me. But what if it happens to me? Yep. That's the thing about life insurance. Yep. With this, the thing about the living benefit and the cash and everything. That is important about us preparing ourselves for the future. That's never going to happen to me. But what if it happens to me? What if it happens to somebody close to me? Let me give you this last thing before you go next. So I had this disclaimer. Somebody tells me this. I invited him. I do an event. Diana was there, and the Westin, over there at the hotel. And one of my agents work with me, brought a guest. And the guest was very skeptical about a company, about a business, right? He was like this, right? This older gentleman. And he says, so tell me what brought you here? Ta-la-la. He says, I do sales. He does sales. And he says, he asked me a question. Do you talk to friends and family? I said, of course I do. He said, oh, that's not for me. I don't want to talk to friends and family. I said, brother, I said this to him. I understand when people sell something else and they don't want to talk to friends and family. I get it. Because You don't want to, if you're selling something that people don't need, I promise you, please don't talk to friends and family. But myself, I'm going to talk to my friends and family. They're going to hear about this because they need this, because what we're doing is powerful. I know Diana has helped our family as well. I know that I'm going to help my family. So if you're listening to this, we offer a product that we are proud to be selling. We're proud to be life insurance agent. We're proud to do index annuities. We're proud of our business model. And yes, we talk to friends and family. And I want to talk to my friends and family because when they need this, I want them to call me. Hey, thank you, Matt Zapala, for helping me. Thank you, Diana, for helping my family. Thank you, Rodolfo, for making a difference. So I just want to make a point on that, Matt.
I built a website. Thank you, Rodolfo. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you for sharing that. The guy that built my website, moneysmartguy.com, it's a very simple website. It's a one-page website that kind of leads everybody to my social media profiles. So I hired a guy to do that. He's a web designer. Anyway, I hired him. His name is Dustin. And he's watching my videos and he's reading my content. He goes, "Hey, Matt, I think I need to be a customer." I said, "What are you talking about?" I watched your stuff. I think let's flip this around. And we make a long story short, he and his wife come into the business. On closeout night, on Wendy Thompson's MD run, they both end up purchasing additional, posting a purchasing policy. He's got 4 kids. He's from Trinidad and Tobago. His wife's from the south side of Chicago. He had a couple people working for him in his business. Anyway, make a long story short, at 38 years old, he has a stroke. Wow. Right. And then, Kenya's calling, "Hey kids, where's daddy?" "Oh, daddy fell asleep on the floor." "What?" He comes to the house. He's having a stroke. They airlift him to the hospital. Thank God he survives the stroke. Okay. And this is him. I'll share his IG. This is him, Dustin Frampton.
I know him. Yes,
yeah.
I know who he is. Yes.
The guy that built my website. Nobody ever taught to him about life insurance. Nobody ever taught to him about financial 101. We did. And make a long story short, got a living benefit check from National Life Group. And today they're marketing directors of PHP.
Wow.
And what she says is, "Can nobody tell me about life insurance? Can nobody tell me about PHP?" They absolutely saved my life, because what would happen if he couldn't provide? He had 4 kids. Dreams would have died. Downsizing would have had to happen. Uncomfortable conversations would have been had. Now, dignity. What do you need? What do you need, kids? What do you need? What do you need? And so, people wonder, what is it that we do? That's what we do. Yep. And people asked me the other day, so how come people don't buy PHP insurance? We don't. PHP is not the insurance company. We're the insurance marketing organization that represents multitude of insurance companies across the country. One of them, I'm about to have lunch with here as soon as the podcast is done, was with National Life Group. Marco, we're going to have lunch with Marco. Marco's going to come to our office on Saturday to train our agents about Index Universal Life. So not only do our people come in as clients, but they come in as part-time associates learning about financial services. DJ, what does it mean for you to have your guys on a part-time basis learn about money 101, coming from, like, for yourself, art? I learned about art. Yeah. But I learned about insurance. I learned about financial 101 by becoming an associate at PHP. Well, I mean, what's the more powerful product? Was it the policy or was it the opportunity?
Always the opportunity, because the opportunity is ongoing. It's like improvement, like it's not just giving you a fish, it's teaching you how to fish. And that's so empowering. It builds so much confidence. But I even think about how, Rodolfo, I think you were the one mentioning about, do you, with that sales guy, the guest that, do you talk to friends and family? This isn't for me. And I resonate with your response, because I'm thinking about not just peace of mind that I have owning the product, owning an IUL myself, but I'm so grateful that I did extend this to my friends and family. Hey, I'm just giving you the information. I want you to know what's out there, like anything else. If I had the cure to cancer, cure to COVID, all those things, you're talking about it, I hope. So they have to make the decision that it's a benefit for them. But today, to know I have peace of mind that my family is covered, that's huge. So that's why I think the opportunity is the number one, because it's like missionary work. It's like you're sharing the good news. You're not just holding on to the good news, keeping that light under a bushel. You're sharing it, and it's changed so many lives. It's undeniable. And so if there are people out there that want to feel purpose in the work that they do, want to really make a difference, how amazing is it that our industry needs more agents, and that, it's more awareness that this industry has had than ever before, but we still are underserved when it comes to agents in the industry. And PHP is making such a huge dent in that because we're playing offense.
Rodolfo, you've been around the block for a minute now. You're a co-founder of PHP. You've seen a lot of other insurance marketing organizations. You see a lot of people look at other opportunities. What is continuing to set PHP apart? Obviously, this is as unbiased as possible. What do you think is setting PHP agency apart? Because you see them in Houston. It's a big market. You see a lot of financial companies. Why is it different in your platform? Why is it different there with WTP, with your organization, than somebody down?
I invited top executives from insurance companies to come to an event that I did over here in a couple months ago over here in Houston, right? They come, by the way, Marcelino, our CFO, came, and also David Hayes, from our headquarters, they came, and other people from insurance companies, they came, right? C executives, they come. And they see my environment, okay? They see what we do. They see the training. Diana was here on this last weekend. We did an event. We went exercising. That's part of our culture, to go and exercise. We did an event. We did it super early. But let me tell you what people see. And this is the best compliment that they have given me, and other people that come and see the organization, the same as you, Matt, and the same as you, Cornerstone, in PHP. Diana Joe with PHP. They say how crazy it is that everybody stay together, like the diversity from the group. And that's the event, by the way, that's the event. They said, Rodolfo, we go to other places and everybody looks the same. I come to your team, you can see people from different backgrounds. You can see engineers. You can see a waitress. You can see a doctor. There are doctors that we have in the team. You can see somebody that is an immigrant just like me. You can see old people. You can see young people. Can you go into the last picture when we show the group? Like if you see our group, go up. So look at the last picture. Look at that. Oh, by the way, that was exercising. But look at that picture of the team. You can see white. You can see black. You can see Hispanic. You can see Asian. You can see young people. Even Milo is over there. You can see young people. You can see old people. You can see women. You can see guys. You can see professionals. You can see people not professional. You see people with masks, people with no mask. Okay, you can see people with. You can see
Puerto Ricans.
Yes, you can see. You can see every single background, and we are together. We unify each other. And if you see the next picture, by the way, in the same, but you go next on the next swipe to the right. No, you can see over there we're with suits, but in the other one we're with no, go back in that's the group, by the way. Over there what it says, no. I don't know if you are able to see it. You can swipe to that one. Can you see it? Over there we're with shorts. We're with suits, then we're with shorts. And so the compliment that I get from people in PHP, and this is actually a very inclusive company.
Yeah.
That's what it means being inclusive. Inclusive means that we can live together, we can stay together, we can do business together, we can do business together, we can do exercise together, we can make money together, and we help between each other. That's the difference between our company. In other companies, maybe only guys, maybe only old people, maybe only young people. Maybe in another company, maybe somebody like Diana wouldn't be able to grow as a company because only tailored to this group of people. In our company, we have a system that it doesn't matter what you look like. If you follow the system, you are going to win, regardless if you're old, if you're young, if you like to do cold calling, if you don't like to do cold calling, because we don't do cold calling. There is an all-inclusive type of company.
DJ, as we start wrapping up, any of your final thoughts here about what we talked about today? By the way, a lot of great comments here in the feed section. Miriam Rivera, Gilda Moshier, Khalida Campbell, Audie Maga, Paulina G. Just a lot of great comments from you guys. Appreciate you guys participating in the comment section. Gilda's talking about passing down generational wealth. Miriam Rivera, Life Insurance Awareness Month. So Any final thought, Victoria Mendoza, hearts all over the place. Fredo Garcia, hearts because he's seen you talking about Jessica. Matthew Torres, Jessica is an inspiration. Alfredo Garcia, Jessica is a hero. Chiquila Green, yes, their energy is fire. Any final thoughts here as we wrap up today's episode?
I'm so grateful to be a part of this movement. Like it started so logical for me of, you should learn about money. You need to make some extra money. Started very, very logical, but how it is the coolest family to be a part of. Like we compete, we don't always agree. When you see all that diversity, don't think that everybody has the same opinion where it's, because we don't. And I just think that's so special because it's encouraging more diversity. It's encouraging people's uniqueness and to have a voice. And I think we all want to have a voice. We all want to know that we're making a difference in our life, that life this time on earth, whether it's short or long, however you want to define it, is meaningful. And so to be a part of something, especially those times where maybe you second guess yourself, or you're insecure, you're trying to find your way, to have that support system of look at all these crazy folks, like look at all these different people. Like you're just attracted to that environment. And then fundamentally what we're doing is helping to protect people's lives and their wealth, help them create it with our products and services. But also my life was forever changed of just constant improvement, stepping outside of my comfort zone, messing up a ton along the way. None of us are perfect, but getting better, feeling good about getting better and modeling that for other people. It's a level playing field. And man, this is such a privilege just to be on this podcast with both of you. I'm like thinking, how'd you get here, girl? That's my final thought.
Woo! All right. Thanks, DJ. Rodolfo, your final thoughts, brother.
Well, Matt, if somebody's listening to us, you might relate with Matt. Maybe you come from the insurance background and you had a great contract and you decided to become a builder. You decided to become more into distribution instead of just a producer. Maybe you are like Diana and you're a lady listening over there. You say, you know what? I'm looking for something that is a good environment, safe environment, that they're not going to send me that I don't have to jump out of the bushes to go and talk to somebody and going and knocking on doors. And I'm looking for a place where I can grow and maybe I can meet the love of my life. Okay. Maybe you're listening to that. Maybe you're listening and say, you know what? Just give me an opportunity for me to make, maybe you're listening. You say, Diana makes over $700,000 a year, but maybe I just want to make 100,000. Maybe I want to go for $1 million. If that's you, maybe you're also an immigrant just like me. And you have, you're hungry, you want to do something, you want to make a difference. And maybe you're having a job that you're not enjoying, that you don't like. And you're looking for a career that is good, is professional. You're looking for something that you're actually helping people. Or you know what, Matt? Maybe you're listening to this and you're thinking, you know what? I need to actually get a good policy. I need to get a policy. Maybe you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, the story about Jessica touched my heart. Or maybe you have a policy and you haven't called your sister, you haven't called your brother, you haven't called your mom, you haven't called your auntie, you haven't called your neighbor, you haven't talked to them. And you feel like, you know what? I'm going to call them because I heard about this story today and I want to make a difference in their life. If that's you, we're looking for more people like you. Okay. We're looking for more people. Necessarily, if you want to do business, you just want to become a client or you just want to be a referral source, we're looking for people. And it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you're young, old, Hispanic, Latin, whatever, Chinese. It doesn't matter if you're from the moon. It doesn't matter if you're fat, skinny, whatever you are. You can make it in here. So those are my final thoughts. And Matt, you're world class. Every time we do this podcast, it's a world class. And I believe that today we had a world class guest. So Matt, final thoughts from you.
I remember coming to the business, into the industry, making $850 every 2 weeks as a sergeant in the Marines. It was my paycheck, $850 every 2 weeks. I remember having a $650 rent from my apartment. And because I was the cool Marine, I needed a pager. Remember those before cell phones, they had pagers. And that was $25 a month, and I was stressing out financially. And I found myself in a predicament where I became a single father of 3 kids. And I'm so thankful that somebody was bold enough to make me aware of an industry, not forget the policy, let me know of an industry that I can get involved in, because I thought to myself, what do I know about finances? What do I know about insurance? I don't have a college degree. I don't have a sales background. I definitely don't have a financial background. Don't have a business background. But I'm thankful and grateful for a platform of PHP agency to be able to take a kid like myself, to take an immigrant like you, Rodolfo, to take a woman like the DJ who has a fine arts degree, is an Asian American. I think the first ever Asian American with a fine arts degree. it's not some form of.
We haven't answered that question though. What does a fine art person do? Okay, we don't know that, but anyway, man.
That's like after notes, man, because that's the investments of the rich is buying art. You know, you see Patrick's artwork for Mr. Brainwash, all on his.
That's
Amazing.
right. That's right.
Yeah, fine art stuff. But if you are watching this and you say, you know what, I want to finally fight from the ropes and get off the ropes, because life has just been hitting you low blows. COVID's been hitting you, pandemic hitting you. You've been deemed essential, non-essential. Industry's been changing. You're at the whims of whether somebody decides to hire you or decides when somebody wants to buy from you, and the industry that are dictating that. I've been in this now for 22 years. And I've been in an up market, down market. I can say that during the toughest times of our country, which is proven now, I've been through the 01.com bubble. I've been through the 08, 09 great recession. I've been now through the pandemic. We've been through the pandemic. And every time, not only do our products and services stand up through the test of time, our industry stands up through the test of time. Our guys and gals that have PhDs have made more money to and through the pandemic. I mean, by the way, year over year, we're still overhead this year than we were over last year. And we're still growing. And we have a big vision of growing to 500,000 licensed agents by 2029. Our CEO put together a couple opportunities for us to earn stock equity ownership of our company. So you could be working for a company and own it. I mean, DJ just mentioned here, Diane and Joe just mentioned that earlier in last year, they got a $30-some thousand check. Earlier this year, they got a $90-some thousand check by just having stock equity ownership of PHP Agency. So not only can you build a business, but you can also have ownership of the overall corporation that you are building a business through. And for some of you, you just, paying the bills may be just good enough for you, all good. That's how I came in, just to make another $500, $1,000 extra month. But then I started cracking and finding new levels of my potential. And then next, can I make $2,000, $5,000 extra? Yes. To make $5,000, $10,000? Yes. And on and on and on. And I realized that I'm only limited to how big I'm thinking and willing to pay the price and sacrifice. And I think that's what you're going to find here at PHP Agency. You're going to find a lot of people here that just want to find out the next best version of them. And based on how we operate with the diversity and everybody having a shot here, because we're united under one color. That's the color of money, which happens to be green. And I want you to know, in the famous words of our CEO, if you start hanging around us long enough, you're going to start thinking for yourself.
Yes.
When start thinking for yourself out there, do for yourself, make up for yourself. He or she that controls your income controls you in the decision you make into your life. And we want you to have that control back into you, the American citizen out there. So DJ, Vargas, I appreciate you guys. And for those of you watching this right now, if you haven't done so already, make sure you follow our business page, PHP Agency, on Facebook, and make sure you, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our YouTube channel, PHP Agency. Please, in the comment section below, please drop us your biggest takeaway. Was it Diana Joe being a fine arts into entrepreneur making over close to $750,000 a year? Is it Jessica Coulter's story? Is it Rodolfo Vargas' story going from California to building a new office in Houston, Texas? Whatever it is, I want to know your feedback in the comment section below. That being said, guys, on behalf of Diana Joe, my co-host of episode 22 here, Rodolfo Vargas, I'm your money smart guy. And until we meet again, continue to help people, continue to love people, and continue to change your lives today. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.